Hello everybody, John here, and this week on To The Garage we're repairing Cornwall induced scratches on the beautiful Navara Np300. Myself, my wife Jo and Molly the dog took an excursion down to Cornwall, beautiful land of tiny cobbled streets, beautiful little coves, beaches and harbours, and a place where you can get into remarkable positions and viewpoints that really aren't available anywhere else in the UK anyway. It was a fabulous journey. We stopped on the Lizard and toured the whole of Cornwall. The issue and the reason that we are talking today is...
This is what happened when you have to do diversions.
Cornwall is not made for Navaras.
I don't know why I'm keeping my elbows in. I can hear it scratching.
So, following the Cornish excursion, the Np300's got a fair few little war wounds from the diversions down the really narrow lanes. Little scab there. We've got paint chip there. And we've got a lot of scratches down the side. Hard to see them at the moment, but I'm going to make it a little clearer. Okay, so first thing, even though my car's pretty clean, I'd always recommend before you rub the bodywork on a car with decent finish on it anyway, do some non-contact cleaning, just to hose it off, jet wash it off, whatever is your preference, to get rid of anything that's loose on the surface. Okay, so that's the side of the car wetted off, non-contact cleaned. Next, I want to properly clean it. There's lots of car washes available. Most of them, though, include some sort of wax and all the rest of it for a finish on, make things easier for you. If you genuinely just want to clean your car, there's not a lot better than this stuff. Bilt Hamber, Autowash, they do other versions of it as well. Very concentrated vehicle shampoo. You've got nothing to do with froth and foam or funny smells or pre-wax. You will have to clean your car properly afterwards and wax it. It's just a wash. And I'll just get some water and for a few drops, that'll be enough. Basically about a capful of Bilt Hamber product in, and I like to use a Microfibre Noodle mitt. They're great, nice soft absorbent side for washing, like using a sponge basically. We also got like a mesh on the back. If you've got bugs or anything stuck, you can use that. It gets it off your car. Just stir this up a little bit. There's only a little bit of foam with this stuff. And then you can wash the side of your car properly. Okay, so despite it being really hot today, so I haven't really got much of an option. It's not going to cool down. We're going for a very hot summer at the moment. I've been able to wash off the side of my car, and the Bilt Hamber stuff has kept it from drying out too quickly. Now I can hose her off, and any wax as well as rubbish from the road and the sandy rain we keep having around here at the moment, will come off and leave me with just the bare paintwork. And then, now we're all hosed off, I like to use a high quality microfibre towel. I'll leave links to all these bits and pieces in the description below if you want to find out what these cost at the moment. This is a particularly nice one because on the back again it's got some mesh Gore-Tex, which means you can move the odd stubborn mark, so I like this one. And there you have it, one very clean Np300 side. The other side is not clean. And now that it is clean, hoping if it showed up on film, you can start to see some of the fine scratches that I've got to try to remove. Let's find the most obvious. Probably that one. So all the way along that door you have a scratch. There's the one about 6 inches above it, and you go onto the rear wheel arch and you'll see, maybe you won't, there's a series of scratches all the way up there. Just due to the lighting at the moment, I think this is the one that's showing up best, so we'll concentrate on that. But I must have about a dozen really long scratches like that. Now, if I run my finger over like that, I feel absolutely nothing, which is good news. And I use my nail and drag that up, and I can just about feel it. If I could feel nothing, then it's definitely going to polish out. If you can feel it, it's a cut in the clear coat, so it's going to need quite a lot of effort. These also are a result of the same excursion, these little indentations. So, what products am I going to use to try and take this baby out? Let's just pull it away so you can see where on the vehicle we're looking. And it's a rear left-hand door, and it's about an inch above the crease in the bodywork. So, sorry for the metric amongst us, about 25 to 30 millimeters above the crease, and runs the entire length of the door. So I've got myself into my comfy position, sat on my little wooden box and gonna have a crack at these. And again, let's just find it in the viewfinder. I'm gonna tackle this scratch from the beginning of the rear door all the way along to the end. It does actually extend the entire length of the front door as well. And I say it's one of about a dozen. Whew. So first thing I'm going to use is this. I've had a lot of success with it in the past, quite enjoy using it. Mantis Scratch Remover. It's basically just a cutting compound, but the consistency just seems about right for clear coat scratches. So that's the brand. I like it. You can try it out. It's not too expensive. It's got a lot of liquid in it. You have to mix it up. When it stops bouncing around like that, you know it's mixed. Here's the Mantis paste. Sort of a pearlescent, thin toothpaste consistency. And the way I like to treat this, find a scratch again. Focus is a bit of an issue with this job. There we go. Let's start at the more obvious end, and all I do is do a little dab all the way along the scratch, so I know I've got even-ish distribution. And then starting at one end, it's like button polishing, which is a thing. Lots of small circular buffing in order to try and take the edges off of that scratch. Obviously there's a scratch there, and I'm not going to reduce the thickness of the surrounding clear coat to the same level as the bottom of that groove, and I'm not filling it either. So all I can hope for is to take the edges off and blend them in a little, hence the circular motion. And it's a good idea to go the other way as well, is basically just rounding the edges of the scratch off so they don't catch the light quite so badly. The filling in we can do a little bit of using waxes, but essentially this is now just hard work working along here all the way to there, and I'll rub this in for a little while. I reckon about 10 minutes to slowly work my way along there and show you where I'm at. We're about 10 minutes in now. I've not touched this, and then that is where I have been. Now again, you know, the camera's a little bit deceiving. I'm trying to get the best effect I can for you. You can, if you know where to look, still see a little faint line. I'm going to try to point there. See it? But it is so faint. And remember, the bodywork is absolutely clean, naked. If I put some wax on this, that will be gone. So I've done half of that scratch. I've applied a cutting compound to the whole of that scratch, and you can see though, if I, oops, that's the front door, which had the fainter scratch, and then this door, nothing obvious. Again, if I pointed it out, you'd see it. It's not perfect, but if you're not looking for it, it's no longer there. So what's the next step? Well, the first thing is give it another little mini wash to make sure you've got all the cutting compound off. So now that we've got rid of the main part of the scratch, or at least rounded it off, the last thing we can try and do is to fill what's left of the groove and also protect some of the stone chips that have come along with my damage. And the best way of doing that is a really high quality car wax. Now again, there's loads and loads of different waxes on the market, and I use a selection, but this is one of my favourites. You can tell by the well-worn tin. Again, Bilt Hamber, really good stuff. This one's called the Auto Balm, and it's really good on bodywork, but it also works on chrome as well, so bright work on your vehicle, and is good at protecting against rust. I've got some really interesting stuff on their website, and there's various YouTube videos about this stuff that show you how well it protects against rust. And I'm just using this on a slightly moistened microfibre towel. Its consistency, butter. And obviously it's harder to see where the scratch was now, but if I put my finger on the bodywork, that's the crease, and if you look 25mm above it, you can just about, he says, on the groove. So it's very hard to see, but I managed to catch it in the light. So I'm going to apply Bilt Hamber Auto Balm to that groove, just using a damp microfibre cloth. Now, just there. Very hard to video this whilst I'm doing it. What I need to do is build sufficient wax in the groove to make a difference. So I'm just going to do this without the camera for a couple of minutes and come back to you. Okay, so I've circular motioned on the Auto Balm all the way along there, and I've also put some, make sure I'm covering over those stone chips. One of the reasons I like this stuff so much is most waxes, when you buff them off, they leave a little white residue, and when that gets into things like little stone chips, it emphasises them even more. This stuff, as you rub it, it turns glassy clear, and there is no residue whatsoever. So I just really like it using it. It's nice stuff. So I'm just going to buff this off now, see what sort of effect we get. I've got a dry, nice clean cloth. It's not a lot of effort needed. It's not super hard sticky wax like back in the day I used to have to wax my granddad's car with turtle wax, and it was brilliant, but bloody hell it was hard work to get back off once it had set on. I can already see I've got a nice glassy shine appearing there. There we go. I think I've caught it all. Now, what this won't have done is got rid of that groove. As I said, that's a groove in the clear coat. What it will have done is filled it just a little and raised the surface finish of everything so far that, again, I'll be able to find this scratch, I'm sure, because I know exactly where it was, but most people won't. So there's a stone chip in the middle of the picture, there's the crease on the door. I know that the scratch is exactly halfway between those two. Not too shabby, I would say, because I am struggling. Again, probably with the naked eye and the right light, I'm going to find that. But not on this camera, we're not. And again, just to show I'm not switch vehicles on you or anything daft. If you look down here, there's a scratch. That's on the front door. So that's the fainter of the two scratches. And then it hit the back door and it went really harsh, so you can see where the line should go. Blunk. And another thing, I changed the angle, so again I'm not cheating, looking at both doors. Scratch on the front door, keeping parallel, no scratch. So everybody has their own preferences for these sorts of things, but I think you can see why I quite like this stuff. It's also the only company that sells car waxes and cleaning kit that I've ever actually bothered ringing up about something. A a little while ago I was very into kit cars and had a car that had a gel coated finish, so no paint whatsoever. It was an as moulded finish, and I was paranoid about getting the best possible finish on it. And these guys seem to say the right things on their websites about it, so I phoned them and I got to spoke to somebody who was very laboratory, very scientific. It was very satisfying to have a conversation about how this stuff would work on gel coated vehicles. So they know what they're doing. It's a made in England thing, which obviously I'm British, so that's a bonus for me. Might be a pain in the arse for you guys, but I think it's the sort of thing you can get worldwide these days. And the Mantis Scratch remover, very good, very effective. It is just a cutting compound, but I think for home use it's just the right level of abrasive. It means you're not going to bugger your car up, but you are going to have enough effect to actually see the difference. Actually, it's quite a good effect here, because if I follow where the line was, scratch onto the rear wheel arch, on the rear wheel arch, again, just getting the thing to open, you can see the scratches start again. So lots and lots of work to do, but that is how you put a super duper finish on your bodywork and cover up scratches. So now I've just got to do the entire side of the car, bit by bit, scratch by scratch. Wish me luck. If you like this, please consider subscribing to the Garage. Lots and lots more hints and tips, projects going on in the garage, news from my fleet of vehicles, and as always there's links to the products I use or recommend in the descriptions below if you want to find out how much they cost, where I've been getting them from. So see you soon.